The Adidas Crazy Explosive Primeknit combines inner booty construction with a knit upper and full-length, strategically caged boost cushioning. The unique silhouette looks menacing in black with hits of white on the branding and boost. Let's take a look.
Hey all, what is up? Reese here. I've got a brand new sneaker pickup to show you. What we're looking at today is the Adidas Crazy Explosive Primeknit in core black and running white. These were released on October 10th, 2016 with a retail price of $150. I picked these up because I was looking for my next on-court basketball sneaker. I don't like to keep too many pairs in my on-court rotation just because I don't play basketball all that often, and so I really kind of like to pick a pair, wear it out, and kind of move on. And so in this case, my KD7s were kind of getting to the end of their life, so I was looking for the next pair that I would use on court. I was hearing a lot of really good things about the Crazy Explosive, and so these were at the top of my list. And then I ended up getting a 30% off coupon from Adidas, which just pushed me over the edge, and so I ordered these last week. And I'm really happy with them, just having them in hand, wearing them around a little bit, and I'm super excited to see how they perform on court. The Crazy Explosive was introduced in the summer of 2016, and even though they're no one athlete's signature shoe, the kind of initial poster child was Andrew Wiggins of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was featured in a lot of the original advertisements, the original announcement and unveiling and things like that. Although we've already started to see other NBA athletes adopt the sneaker. There was a Wiggins PE that released, but we've also seen a Nick Young or Swaggy P triple white colorway release. And just last week, Adidas announced that Kristaps Porzingis was joining their basketball roster, and along with that announcement, they showcased 3 different Knicks and KP PE colorways, and I'm really hoping at least 1 or 2 of those makes it to retail. They all look really, really sharp. I love the combination of blue and orange, and they did some nice things with the white base versus the black base and things like that. But as far as the shoe itself goes, the main story here is the cushioning. A lot of people are calling these the Ultra Boost of basketball shoes, and what I love with Adidas Boost cushioning, and specifically the way they've implemented it on this shoes like the Ultra Boost, is they found a way to balance the combination of having good cushioning so it feels comfortable, you know, when you're cutting, when you're landing, when you're taking a step, but at the same time providing that energy return that is the core component of Boost technology. That's where the Boost gets its name, where you know you're not losing your momentum because of that cushioning. And I think that's something they did really well here. I haven't tried anything like the Crazy Light Boost or the D-Rose 7, but from what I've heard, this features a softer and more cushioned ride compared to their firm implementations of Boost. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's cool to see that Adidas was able to provide a nice cushioned shoe that maintains the energy return that we've come to know and love with Boost technology. There are 2 different versions of the Crazy Explosive. You've got the regular pair, which features a neoprene upper that retail for $130, and you've got the Primeknit version, which retails for $150. And by all accounts, in terms of playability and on-court feel, the 2 versions are identical. Obviously, you've got the same cushioning setup, and so it's only the material on the upper. But it's important to note that this shoe features a Bootie Construction, so it's not like your foot's right up against the Primeknit or the neoprene. And so what that means is it really comes down to personal preference. Do you want to spend the extra $20 for the Primeknit? And for me, I definitely did, although again, I had that 30% off coupon, but I just visually, I think it looks a little bit better. I don't like the pattern that they applied to the black regular pair, and I just love the way Primeknit, just like Flyknit, where you can kind of add in a little bit of texture and detail because of that knitting process. As far as looks go on this shoe, it's a very polarizing design. Some people love it, some people kind of struggle to embrace it. There is a low top version coming in 2017, but that still doesn't take away some of the interesting design aspects. And you know, for a lot of people, they're saying it's just like this kind of out there design, but it also in ways reminds me of something like the Reebok Shaqnosis or the Nike Air Command Force or anything from like Charles Barkley's signature line, where, you know, when you look at those shoes, you're like, wow, okay, that's a 90s basketball shoe. And it's the same thing here. There are parts of it that are sleek, but overall I could see why you might think it kind of looks a little clunky, kind of as a full unit. But to me, I think that's something that's kind of cool. It sets it apart as a basketball sneaker. And so it's definitely not designed for everyone, especially in terms of casual wear. I can see why a lot of people would only want to pick these up for like wearing on the court. I personally think it's a really cool design. I enjoyed it a lot, but I can see why you would maybe go back and forth there. With all that said, let's dive into a close-up view now, and we'll talk about the cushioning setup, the materials, and really everything going on with this sneaker. Here we go with a close-up look at the Adidas Crazy Explosive Primeknit in the core black colorway. As the name suggests, the upper is primarily made up of Primeknit material, and so you can see on the toe box you've got fairly loose stitching. You've got some openings there just to allow for a little breathability, but then wrapping around the toe box, it changed a little bit both in terms of the tightness of the weave, but also they add in a little bit of gray just to break things up. It's almost in like a checkerboard pattern, and that provides some structural integrity on those points where you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the shoe as your foot's kind of shifting around when you're moving on the court. On the regular non-Primeknit version, those areas where you actually see that tighter weave feature a fuse-like material that accomplishes the same goal. Here at the heel, you can see your 3 stripes done up in white. You've got a heel cup, which again helps with some of that stability in the shoe. And then kind of the core of the support of the upper is actually this GeoFit bootie. You can see it up here, right where you slip your foot in. And then it also runs down like the length of the tongue. There's actually no separate tongue, it's just part of the bootie. And you can see where the Primeknit upper then kind of like wraps over that and then opens up for the actual tongue section. The lacing on these is a little bit unique. You've only got 4 eyelets on each side, but then each one has 2 of these ribbons that you can see there. And so those are anchored to different areas on the footbed, and they provide pretty good lockdown, but it takes sometimes a little bit longer to find exactly how you want to have these laced up when you're on court. The top of the tongue, you've got the Adidas logo in black, and it's surrounded by this interesting pattern, which is actually taken from the traction pattern of the shoe. Also kind of looks like a fingerprint. Now we'll get to kind of the core feature, which is of course that boost cushioning. As you can see, one big difference between these and something like the Ultra Boost is you don't have just exposed boost material on both sides. This features a TPU cage, and you can see it wrapping up around the foot a little bit, near the forefoot, and then also back near the heel to help with some of that side-to-side motion, so there is some stability to the shoe. But then here at the heel, where the cushioning is obviously a little more important, you've got these windows that open up to that boost material so it has room to compress and expand and really give that energy return that it's known for. The forefoot features obviously significantly less boost cushioning, which I like. It's still comfortable, but it does provide enough of a good like court feel that you don't feel like you're way up off the ground and not really knowing what's going on. So they got a good balance going there. Flipping to the inside then, you can actually see you have a lot of that boost exposed, and so you still get a lot of those benefits from something like the Ultra Boost, where it has plenty of room to expand. You can see the TPU spring plate, wraps up a little bit again to provide some of that lateral stability on the inside of the foot. Flipping now to the outsole, you can see in kind of like an 8 or an infinity symbol, you've got that spring plate under there, which again provides just like some of the side-to-side and twisting support for the shoe. Under that, all you can see is the boost. So of course, since we can see all that through here, it's pretty clear that we've got a semi-translucent outsole. And there you can see that traction pattern that was up on the tongue. It was inspired by a coral reef. And you can see it really goes in all sorts of directions, which helps provide really solid traction. People seem to really enjoy the traction on these. It's maybe not quite as good as something like the D-Rose 7, but it is very good. One thing to know is the rubber is very pliable, which leads to good traction, but it also means that these will get worn down fairly quickly, and definitely these would not be recommended for playing on outdoor courts because it's just going to wear down that much faster. One thing to note too is the grooves are pretty wide, which means you're not going to have a lot of issues with dust. I've heard reports that these play really well across different court conditions, which is really exciting, especially for those of us who don't get to play on nice court, who don't get to play on courts that are always kept really clean and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to actually trying these out on court. My first league starts next Wednesday, so I'll definitely be getting these on foot then. But yeah, in the comments below, let me know what you think of the Crazy Explosive, if you have the Primeknit or the non-Primeknit. Let me know what your favorite colorway is. Just let me really know what you think about this shoe. As always, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe to my channel. But thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.